If you're a freelancer or business owner, the Article and Design podcast is a must-listen. Hosted by experienced freelancer of over 10 years, Margaret Sulapas. Article and Design podcast covers a range of topics that will help you run your business more effectively. You'll learn about time management, marketing, pricing, and more. And because it's made by freelancers for freelancers, you can be sure that the advice is relevant and useful. If you want to improve your business skills and knowledge, tune into Article and Design podcast every Saturday. Now listen up and enjoy the show.
Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Margaret, your host of the Article and Design podcast, and we are now back with a brand new episode. So I hope you liked the previous episode I did for you, which is part of the 21-day paradigm shift challenge of Article and Design. If you haven't listened to it yet and you're planning to start your freelance career, please check it out. It is called the 10 high-paying or in-demand skills that you can start as a freelancer. In this episode, I'd like to discuss a very important topic. I've listed this in my list of podcast episodes. So finally, I'm going to share this with you. So as we all know that freelancing has been glamorized by all these fake gurus who never got rich actually in freelancing, but they got rich by selling you the idea of freelancing. And there I said it, guys. So I would like to emphasize that in this episode, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. What is freelancing and why it is not for everyone and why you shouldn't start it. So like anything else in life, freelancing has its pros and cons, right? So it's not for everyone and that's okay. Being a freelancer myself, there are many times I want to give up. So I told myself, okay, this is enough. I'm not cut for this. Again, fast forward to today, after 10 years, I'm still here. And later on in this episode, I'll share with you why I sustained this lifestyle. But a disclaimer first, I'm not doing this episode to discourage everyone not to start freelancing, right? I'd like to put an emphasis on this part that freelancing is not easy. It is not difficult if you know what you're doing and if you have developed a strong mindset and discipline and a lot of things, actually. What I'm seeing from all these fake gurus, as I've mentioned earlier, from all these mofos, pardon my word, they're telling you that freelancing is easy, like in 3 months or even less, that you can become a millionaire, that life is peachy, or just become a digital nomad, go to Bali, go to somewhere else, go to the beach in Boracay or in El Nido in Palawan and just have a laptop. Well, that's also true, but they're glamorizing it and they're not telling you the ins and outs and the, other things about freelancing that you should know. When you listen to my previous episode, which is the 10 high-paying jobs, and you decided that you wanted to become a video editor, and then, you know what, you still can't decide, you don't want to take the risk, so watch this or listen to this episode first, and then you can come up with the probably a better decision for you. Why freelancing may not be for you or why you shouldn't even start to become a freelancer. So there are a lot of reasons, but probably this is what I noticed, the 7 top reasons why freelancing may not be for you. Please know that this is based from my experience and from the experiences of other freelancers that I know. So it may be different from other people. So number 1, if you prefer stability, then freelancing is not for you. So the freelance life can be pretty much unpredictable. When you're a freelancer, especially when you're starting, your income can fluctuate from probably month to month or even weeks or even a quarter to quarter. So, and you never really know when your next gig is going to come from. So that's the entry level type of freelancing, right? Later on, I'll share with you how you can mitigate that one. If you prefer stability, you check your tolerance for risk. So check your risk appetite. So what I'm trying to say is if you have a family or you have kids that are dependent on you, then the risk is too high. If you plan to dive into freelancing, if you don't have all those, buffer and extra money, extra load of cash for you, 6 to 12 months, so the risk is too high. So there's not enough stability at first because you're trying to patch all things together and you're trying to get a really good client for yourself. So that's number 1. Number 2 is if you like working in an office environment, so freelancing is not for you. If you're the type of person who likes working in an office setup, with set hours like 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, and you wanted to have coworkers around you, because freelancing requires a lot of self-discipline and self-motivation, because more often than not you will be working alone and probably working at your home office or probably a rented office space somewhere or in a coffee shop. You have to be able to work on your own schedule, and you will be working in silence most of the time. If you love working in an office environment, going to work every day, then freelancing is not for you. Number 3, if you don't want to be on your own, then freelancing is not for you, because if you're a freelancer, you are on your own, like literally on your own as well. So another downside of freelancing is that there is no one to help you with your projects, or there is nobody that you could bounce ideas off of. So this can be isolating and lonely at some point, especially if you're used to working in an office environment, or if you're used to chatting with your coworkers or having a brainstorming with your fellow creatives in an agency. So most of the time, like I myself, I'm just working at home and I'm just on my own. So that's why we created an online community for freelancers during the pandemic last 2020. So we created an article and design community. If you're not a member yet, guys, so please join us on our Discord. Just search for article and design, and you're very welcome to join us. So we created this community because we felt very isolated and we felt so alone in navigating this freelancing world. That's why I'd like to create like a healthy atmosphere, even in virtual or even in online, that we could talk to each other, or we could talk to a fellow freelancer, even from the other part of the world, right? So I'm in Australia right now, so sometimes I talk with people from Germany or from people in India or even in the Philippines. So yes, I digress, but if you wanted to have an online community, please join us. But if you wanted a physical interaction, so freelancing may be not for you. And number 4 is that if you don't like working longer hours, then freelancing is not for you. Because if you're working a day job or in a corporate, sometimes you just work 8 hours, right? Or 7 hours or less. But in freelancing, especially when you are starting, you might be working more than 8 hours. So when I was starting my freelancing career, I was working 10 to 12 hours because I was building an agency. I was learning on the side because I'm not a developer. I'm not a freelance writer. So I have to, do other things outside doing the work. So you might work longer hours because in some cases, if you're a tech virtual assistant, you might be spending some time on how to use this certain tool. So that would let you work for another 2 hours in a day to really study how this tool works. If you don't like working longer hours, especially at the start, so freelancing is not for you. So this can be tough to maintain over the long term and can lead to burnout. All right. So in my case, I think for a good 1 year, I've been working longer hours, like 10 to 12, just to really make it. I have to make it here in freelancing. Back when during my time, it was 2011. We don't have a lot of information at our disposal, so you guys are lucky right now because you just search on YouTube, search on enroll in an online course, then there you have it. But again, I'm not saying this one to discourage you. I'm just telling you the truth. Before we proceed to the other 3 important reasons I think most freelancers are not telling you, I would like to spill the beans why I still chose this freelancing business even after 10 years. Because I've said, freelancing is not for everyone. So, Margaret, why are you still here? So I still chose this thug life, this freelancing life, guys. Why? Because as I've told you, in my first year, I've been working so hard for longer hours. And then until such time on my 3rd year, I realized I have developed a system, right? So I have a long answer to this one, but this is a podcast, so we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to share with you my short answer is that I developed a system called Get Paid Often and Set Clients for Life. When you're freelancing, the point here is not only you need to get paid more, In order for you to sustain this lifestyle and not get burnt out, you have to get paid often, like just any other job. So, and you have to set clients for life so that you can avoid chasing clients after clients and avoid the feast and famine situation. I've developed a system on my own, and then in 2020, we started to teach this to other freelancers or aspiring freelancers. And until such time that we have curated tutorial that is easily digestible for you, especially beginners, or to existing freelancers who doesn't have sustainable freelance business. So we created this and curated this for freelancers, starting freelancers, aspiring freelancers, student freelancers, intermediate freelancers alike. You can now learn how to build a sustainable freelancing business using this set clients for life system and how to get paid often. So I'd like to invite you to become an Article and Design Pro member or A&D Pro because this system is found there. So you never have to buy another freelancing course again, guys. So this is not your run-of-the-mill typical freelancing course. So if you're looking for a new and effective way to earn money using your skills or become a service-based business, then A&D Pro is for you. So what is A&D Pro? A&D Pro is a hybrid of micro workshops. So it's only micro, it's only less than an hour or 1 hour. We have productivity hub that we set up. We have a safe community of your fellow freelancers. We have also on-demand video lessons that you can straight up watch it and apply it, and e-guides and e-books on how to make your freelancing business sustainable. Again, this is the only place or the one place to learn how to freelance and sustain it. Right? The A&D Pro teaches you not only, again, as I've said, how to get paid more, but how to get paid often and set clients for life. So how much is it? Guys, it's only $15 per month. You can now have access to everything that can make you confident in your freelancing career. $15 per month. Right? So go to our main website, articleanddesign.com, and be an A&D Pro member. Just go check it out. Just go to our main website, which is articleanddesign.com, and I'll see you inside, you A&D Pro member, so that you could sustain, right, this freelance business. Now we're going back to the fifth reason why freelancing may not be for you. You need to know how to manage your finances. So if you don't know how to do this yet, or probably you don't want to do this, then you're going to have a hard time. If you plan to become one, right, you have to read a book called Profit First. I'm going to add the link here. So it will help you figure out how to navigate the financing aspect of your freelancing career. I also suggest, guys, I'm not an accountant, but I suggest this one because this is based from my experiences. Right from the get-go, separate your personal and business accounts. So you have to have, like your bank accounts, you have to separate your personal and your freelancing or your business account. You will thank yourself later, guys. I'm pretty sure of that one. So the least that you can do, if you can't hire an accountant just yet, you have to learn the basics of bookkeeping, like separating your profits and loss and, of course, your income and expenses. When I learned this greatly helped me in my freelancing business. Because as I've said over and over again in this podcast, if you can't measure it, you can't fix it. You have to learn how to manage your finances. All right? And number 6, freelancing may not be for you if you wanted your company to give you an insurance. So I'm not going to dive deep into this one because I'm not an insurance or financial or health insurance advisor, but this is just based from my own perspective. When you're working in a corporate or probably you're employed, most of the time your company will give you some insurances. I don't know. It depends on the country. As a freelancer, you are responsible to get that one. To get your own insurance, health cover, you get your probably life insurance, it's up to you, death insurance, etc. So you need to take care of that one and all these perks and benefits. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're a freelancer, you have to take accountable of these things. And last but not the least, number 7, if you're this type of person who is waiting for an inspiration to come, and then you don't want to be desk bound, you want it to be seeing other people working, freelancing may not be for you, right? Because as I've said, if you're a freelancer, most of the time it is economical. You need to work at home. But there are other instances that some freelancers that I know, they're not really comfortable working at home. So to mitigate this, they go to co-working spaces or probably they go to coffee shops. But then again, in coffee shop, you can't like record a podcast. You can actually like go into meetings without like the fear of getting your internet, cut out. So it's a lot better working at home so that you can control all logistic details. Going back, if you're this type of person who is waiting for inspiration for you to be productive, then freelancing is not for you. Because as I've said earlier, if you wanted to become a freelancer and if you wanted to be successful in this industry, you needed to be self-disciplined. You needed to have that self-motivation and become accountable. So if you're waiting for somebody to give you that motivation, then you're going to get a hard time. Those are just 7 of the few reasons why I think freelancing may not be for you. Quick summary. So number 1, freelancing may be not for you if you prefer stability. Number 2, if you like working in an office environment. Number 3 is you're actually on your own, and if you don't like that, freelancing may not be for you. And number 4, you work longer hours. All right. Number 5, especially at the start, okay? Just to put it out there. At the start, you might work longer hours, but then if you get a hang of it, you can adjust that one. Number 5 is very important. Freelancing is not for you if you don't want to manage your finances, or even at the very least, you don't want to learn how to manage your finances. I suggest if you become a freelancer, learn how to do this. Number 6 is you need to take care of your own insurances and other benefits. And number 7 is you're this type of person that you're waiting for an inspiration to come, or you need some extrinsic motivations and you don't like to be desk bound. So freelancing is probably not for you guys. I hope this will not discourage you, but actually what I'm trying to do here is just to lay it down for you what are probably consequences when you become a freelancer. These are a few of the reasons why freelancing may not be the best fit for everyone. And for starters, it can be quite isolating, as I've said, and this could lead to a lot of loneliness and even depression. Working from home, again, can be distracting. And of course, you can't set boundaries from your household chores, personal things that you need to do, and of course, your attention to your work. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons why people stop freelancing, because of that personal boundaries. But again, this is not to discourage you, but just to put it out there and to lay down for you what are the things that you need to know if you're thinking of becoming a freelancer. Right? So it's important to weigh down the pros and cons. And again, it is a challenge that very few people are willing to take on, right? I took on the challenge. If you want to sustain this freelancing business, Margaret, you know what? I'm a risk taker. I'm all for it. Okay, if you wanted to start freelancing and if you wanted to make it sustainable, as I've said, go to artigondesign.com and become an A&D PRO member for only $15 a month. And we'll give you the tips and tricks and how to get paid often and set times for life. So I hope you learned a thing or two in this episode, and I'll see you out in this episode. Let me know, right? If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know. What are your reasons why you're thinking of not pursuing freelancing, or probably why did you quit freelancing? Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. So thank you so much. I'm Margaret, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show and found content helpful, insightful, or entertaining. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, guys, please feel free to reach out to us on our Discord, YouTube, or Facebook platforms. Just search for Article and Design. If you want to go to the next level, check out our website, artigondesign.com, and be an A&D PRO member. Until next time, you super freelancers, stay grounded. Bye! Oh, hey, you're still here. Can you give us a minute and leave us a review on our Facebook page? Thank you so much.